Red chili spice can come in a variety of seasonings, but in order to get the right blend, a lot of recipe testing and processing is involved.
Everything starts with the chili. Chili is the bottom ingredient of everything, and it's got to be made over at the chili plant. We have to, and by made I mean we have to dehydrate the product. So we have to bring in chili either by stuff that we contracted or stuff that we bought on the open market, and we bring it in and we process the chili. After we process the chili and have it dehydrated and ground to a certain size, then we use it to mix with some of the other spices to make our different blends. Rubs, seasoning blends, all the above are all mixed either in large amounts with a double auger blender, and the smaller batches we blend in a big plastic tub. Anything under 50 pounds we do in a big giant plastic tub, and we mix it and we stick it in jars by hand. And we measure each jar on a scale to make sure everything's right. We hand label everything, and then we use a shrink wrap on the outside of all the packaging to make sure everything's safe for everybody to use, so that you don't have to worry about somebody opening your package before you get it.
Developing the ideal chili pepper for a specific product involves a lot of work. It's a science and can take a lifetime to perfect.
Breeding to develop new chili varieties, certainly we're always looking for high yield. That's going to contribute to the bottom line of the growers. It's important to the processors as well. However, breeding is very unique depending whether you're trying to breed a green chili, a red chili, or a cayenne pepper. With red chili or paprikas, that material is usually dried down and ground into a powder. Color is usually important on red and paprikas, so with red and paprikas we're breeding for high dry yield, thin walls, high color, and usually low pungency or non-pungency. Heat level is very subjective to environmental stresses, so a stressed plant will usually produce a hotter chili pepper than a nice pampered non-stressed chili plant. So with furrow irrigation, it's basically a flood versus drying cycle. So the plant's continually either being stressed by being overly watered or underwatered. With drip irrigation, you always get just the right amount of water at the plant's roots, so the plants are much less stressed under a well-maintained drip system versus a regular furrow flood type irrigation system.
Chili peppers are the key ingredient for our favorite fiery foods. But did you know that they're also used in non-lethal weapons like pepper spray? There are quite a few uses for them that might surprise you.
Some unusual uses for chili is to color flamingos in zoos. In nature, birds eat the chilies and they use it as a coloring. And what they do in a zoo is flamingos will turn white, because in nature they eat a crustacean to get that pink coloring. And so any visitor to the zoo expects pink flamingos. So you'll see it in bird food. They put chili to color the birds. They also put it in chicken food to make the yolks more orange or more brighter. It's used in mayonnaise as a coloring agent. It turns out that when you put red chili into mayo, it makes it more white to our eyes than the yellow color it normally is. And they use it in goldfish food to make goldfish more colorful. So some unusual coloring uses there. We also can use the chili heat in what we call pepper spray. It's actually better than mace. Most police departments now use pepper spray. And so we've taken that even a step further, and you can get the big canister for grizzly bear protection. I'm curious if anybody's actually ever thought to be brave enough to use it on a grizzly bear in the forest, but you can buy grizzly bear pepper spray.
Once chili peppers have been processed and packaged, they're ready for restaurants and retailers. Now everyone across the country can enjoy their favorite spicy food.
We are a specialty chili company. That's what we do, all in a dehydrated form. The company began as just an industrial ingredients company, and now we sell industrial ingredients and retail items, a few of which we have right here. A number of rubs, seasonings, salsas, and dips, all with the flair for people who love chili. Well, most of our spice blends come from something we find as a challenge cooking at home. Most everything comes from an experience we've had as we've traveled across the United States, and we've tried something that we've liked, and we said, hey, let's try to either match or do a recipe that we find better, more suited to somebody who likes chili, because everything we sell is based on chili, of course. We have a brisket rub, we have a enchilada seasoning, or an enchilada mix, we have a taco seasoning, we have a fajita seasoning, just a whole range of different flavors. And then on top of that, we have what we call our Fiesta blend, which is a mix of smoked garlic, smoked salt, and various chilies. And each chili has a distinct flavor and a distinct use, and it's amazing what people find that they can use these different flavors on. And so I can't just say one is for one thing or another, but they have a whole range of uses, and they're just wonderful to the palate.
Cooking with red chili can be a culinary adventure. From spicy southwestern dishes to fiery American favorites, red chili will ignite your taste buds.
Today we're going to be making some red chili sauce so that we can prepare some enchiladas. Well, the very first step that we go through when we prepare enchilada sauce is that we get the chili pod when it's dry and brittle, and we remove the stem, the top part, and we shake off as much seeds as we can so that we can prepare it to clean and wash so that we can start boiling it. Once we've cleaned it and washed it, we put it in boiling water for about 10 to 15 minutes. Once it's been boiling for that long, it'll turn into a real soft and pliable chili. And then this is when we begin to take off any stems we may have forgotten and rinse out any of the seeds that we had forgotten. We begin to do this and so that we can prepare it to put it into the blender. Once we've put it in the blender, we'll put about 3/4 cup of water, and then we use about 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt and 1 garlic. You go ahead and you pour it into your strainer, and you need a tool of some kind, maybe a spoon or a fork, so you can move it and you can separate the pulp from the puree. Today I'll be making red enchiladas, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use these corn tortillas, and I'm going to lightly fry them just so they can be a little bit more pliable and easy to chew. I usually like to place it in the middle of the plate because it's the focus of my meal. Go ahead and we add some chili sauce over the corn tortilla. And we're going to add some cheese, some cheddar cheese, or mild cheddar cheese, and some onions. I like using red onions just because of the nutritional benefit of the red color. Our enchiladas are ready. We used 3 corn tortillas and we smothered them with a red chili puree, and we used some light mild cheddar cheese and some colorful onion to add some color. And here's our delicious enchiladas.
Chilies can add a powerful punch of flavor, but there are also many health benefits to eating spicy food.
Red chili is nutritious because it helps with memory function, it helps with urinary tract health, and it also helps avoid and lower the risk of cancer. Red chili is very high in vitamin A and vitamin C, and vitamin C really assists your immune system. New studies that have recently researched red chili have dove into the fact that red chili might have more vitamin C than actually the citrus fruit. And when it's canned and frozen, it maintains the vitamin C. I recommend red chili to remain healthy because it's a spicy way to make a dish exciting. It gives it flavor, and therefore you use less salt and less other alternatives or additives to your food. It's a really healthy way to add flavor to your food.
Chili is a complicated word. It can be associated with the weather, a country in South America, and of course food.
A lot of people ask, what's the difference between chile and chili, which are both chili? And what we like to always say is that chile is the plant or the fruit, and chili is the bowl of brown or the state dish of Texas. And when you make chile with an I, you put the E in it. So it's always a way to remember that and so that's where you can differentiate it, because nowadays if you buy chili powder and you buy the powder with the I, you're going to get maybe cumin and salt in with the chile powder. But if you buy the powder that's just the E, you know you're just getting the fruit from the plant.
So which spelling is correct? Who cares? Let's eat.
I use red chili on a daily basis, cooking with my family. I think it brings out the generations because it's been passed down from generation to generation, and it helps my children learn about their culture. And then a reason I enjoy using it as well is it's rich in vitamin A and vitamin C. Red chili is really versatile in our culture. We use it to make enchiladas and we pour it over the corn tortillas. We can also use it on our scrambled eggs for breakfast. And as a quick snack, we often, as children, used to pour it over our oranges and jicama and sometimes even our limes to give it more of a spicy taste to it.
Chili is more than just a food, it's a passion. And thanks to the hardworking farmers, we can enjoy every bite of our favorite spicy chicken wings.
The rest of the growing season is really based around water management, nutrient management, weed management, and pest management. And that's part of our sustainability within our farm is all of those being done at the right time. We've got a crop consultant that comes in that helps us with our IPM or our integrated pest management. He helps us with our irrigation management, and he also takes petiole and leaf samples and helps us with our nutrient management. It's a highly intense crop, it's a high risk, but it's a high reward at the end.
From the chili field to the processing facilities, from the spice manufacturers to your plate, these peppers take quite a journey. And the final part of that journey is for you to enjoy.
Field Trip was made possible by the Cooperative Extension Service at New Mexico State University and by contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.
Well, for one of our Christmas parties over here, I was going to make buchalokia brownies, and they were so hot I was going to throw them in the trash. And I'll see if anybody eats them. Well, they were a hit. Everybody wanted them as a gimmick to take home, to do somebody, and they all disappeared. And so now every time we do our luncheon, I have to bring buchalokia brownies.
If you would like to purchase a copy of this program, please visit krwg.org.